Miss this amazing show only on the Glory 980 AM WDDO. True Essential Service LLC will personalize a care plan for you or your loved one. Meet with them for your healthcare needs or for an initial consultation. They're open 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. For more information, call 478-221-3434 today or email them at trueessentialservice@gmail.com or check out their website at trueessentialservice.com. They'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Allow them to help you decide the right path to better health and better living. True Essential Service, LLC. This is where the community is connected. 980 AM WDDO.
Macon Middle Georgia Black Pages and Resource Guide
is proud to announce that the 2021-2022 edition is now available in hard copy and
digital,
which will feature Black businesses that have substantially impacted the economy in the counties of Houston, Baldwin, Lawrence, Twigg, Crawford, Wilkinson, Monroe, Peach, and Jones.
You will be amazed. We got over 1,600 African American businesses listed
for over 30 years.
The Macon Middle Georgia Black Page
continues to serve as the premier resource guide for business owners and consumers.
We give all African American businesses a free listing.
The 2021-22 edition is available now
at various locations throughout the city
in hard copy,
or you can go to our website, MaconBlackPages.com.
Download the app today
for the new
edition
of the Macon Middle Georgia Black Pages. Pick up a book.
Here at the Dozier Law Firm, we've been fortunate enough to be able to do a lot of our work from home. We are greatly appreciative and thank every one of the essential workers that have been out there on the front lines every day. The Dozier Law Firm, be smart and be careful.
I've got a destination in my view. The road may be bumpy getting there, but I'm pressing through. I will enjoy this journey, no matter come what may. I'll become better and stronger and wiser every day. I've got a vision and a purpose, a divine destiny. It may not look like it right now, but faith ain't what I see. It is the things I hope for, believing that it will come. And no matter how long it takes, I know God's will shall be done. His will is that I prosper. His will is that I win. His will is that I fight on. His will is that I live. Ooh, he gave me what I needed when he gave me his son. He gave me hope and a future. He gave me the greatest love. And now that I've got Jesus helping me along the way, he's perfecting everything about this old girl, making me brand new in every way. So I'm singing hallelujah.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine.
Well. Because you heard that theme song, you know that it's Wednesday, you know that it's 3 p.m., and you know that you're about to hear what you need to know this week. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, welcoming you to another edition of Ask Elaine. And we are just filled with handsome men in the studio today, I tell you. We have someone who has agreed to periodically be our co-host, none other than Pastor Larry Dunning. He is here with us, and you're gonna see a lot of him in 2022. And so we want to thank him for agreeing to come on periodically as a co-host. Another young man that we have with us is none other than our own Dr. Keith Moffitt, who is the county manager for Macon-Bibb County. And over in the corner, we have someone else who is none other than Chris Floor, who is the Chief Communications Officer for Macon-Bibb County. So not only can you listen in to us today on 980 AM, you can also listen to us on 107.9 FM. You can join us on Facebook Live. Just make sure you're on the Glory Live. You can see us. And then all the other media. And we are just so happy to have you there. Happy Black History Month. Yesterday, of course, began February. And of course, people say, they kind of giggle and they know it's the shortest month. Mm-hmm. But there's so much that happens during that month. And we're going to make sure that you are talking Black History 365, not just during February, not just during January, when we celebrate Dr. King's birthday, and not just our engineer is saying, make sure that you're talking into the microphones. Yeah, thank you. We've got super engineers here who allow us to be heard. My microphone? Yeah. Okay. See, that's why you have all this help. Because all this, they know that I'm challenged as far as this stuff is concerned, but I do appreciate it. Is that okay, Mr. Engineer? All right. For those of you who did not hear a word that I said, I welcomed you. I introduced our handsome gentleman guest that we have today.
Kind.
I also told you that if you're listening to Ask Elaine, then it must be Wednesday at 3 p.m. So for this next hour, we're going to share with you as much information as we can possibly get. We have none other than our own county manager, Dr. Keith Moffitt, a Northeast Raider graduate for all of you Southwest and Central and
Northeast. We don't talk about those other schools.
No, we don't. Not unless they just call in or they're against. They're wonderful places too. But he is a Raider, and Pastor Dunning is a Raider as well. I like to tell the story of Pastor Dunning's father, and a few years ago. We used to walk at Appling. Appling was an open track, and we would walk there. And those of us who were a little younger, we tried to outwalk his daddy. Well, his daddy had the longest legs that anybody could ever have. And he would just be smiling, and we would be there trying to keep up, sweating and stuff. He beat us every time. He just walked us into the ground. We'd be huffing and puffing. But he was just the greatest man. He was just so nice and kept that smile while he just pounded us into the ground. And so I just have such fond memories of him. He was just a wonderful person. All these folks have now, since I mentioned Northeast Raiders, all these folks have got a Charger in the house. We have Dr. Dallas Anderson, who has joined us. Welcome to Ask Elaine. We also have Rhonda Bird, who is the president of the Drive Time Club, and she says good evening to everyone. Sandra Mathis, we are happy to have her, and she sends her greetings. Those of you who want to take part who want to see us and who want to take part in the chat and ask us questions by means of the chat, please join us on Glory Facebook Live, and we're just so happy to have you there. Our call-in number is 478-250-1444, and you are so very welcome to today's Ask Elaine. Well, Pastor Dunning, let's get started. Is there anything that you just have on your mind that you want to share with us? And then after we talk with you and let you share that, then we're going to go to our county manager.
Yes. One of the great things on my heart is the community and unity. The country is so divided politically and sometimes religious, but I just want us all, I have a role and responsibility to unite the community and reach out. I have decided, even at the end of last year, to reach out to people of other colors, other cultures. And now I have more friends on the other side of the spectrum, but that's where it starts. If you have a friend, then you're not going to treat them as an enemy. And we move forth in our small world, and then we can repeat that on the city level, state level, national level. We have so much to work on, and we are so much stronger if we work together. I just hope that I be a beacon, as Dr. King said, a drum major of justice, and everybody's treated equally. I can have friends. I may even disagree with them politically. I may disagree with them with that religious dogma, but we have a lot in common. I just believe, Commissioner, we have more in common than we have difference.
We certainly do, and you're absolutely right. And I want to let y'all who are on Facebook Live see this wonderful shirt that the pastor has on. I think we're going to have to get some more of those shirts. I give him an A+ because he picked a good picture. He picked a great picture, and then he has a hat, and he's given me one of them. Thank you so much. You're just as nice as you can be.
Just for the artists to know, this is my favorite public servant, and a hat is nothing compared to what she's done for our community. I think if you look at the Black history of Macon, Georgia, there has to be a huge picture of Commissioner Lucas. She is my favorite public elected official.
Thank you so very much. If you can't tell, I'm kind of blushing a little bit. Ms. Mathis wants to know, what in the world are we going to do with the Macon Mall? And I'm so glad that question came in, because our county manager can share with us. I'm just so excited about the possibilities at the Macon Mall. I know people are skeptical when you're talking about spending large amounts of taxpayers' money or committing it. And so Ms. Mathis has that question. And so we can begin with what you have to say about the Macon Mall project.
I will speak to that momentarily, but Pastor, you stole my words. You started by saying Happy Black History Month, so I just wanted to echo that and say that it's an honor to be with living history. When we think about Black History Month in Macon and all that you have done, you definitely are a beacon of that. I know, you know, you joke when people say 30 plus years and you're like, well, we always say 30 years, but I mean, that's a milestone.
Amen.
I mean, when you have been in your capacity for these numbers of years, working hard, not just for the area that you represent, East Macon, which I grew up in, but for the whole community in Middle Georgia, and your household with the senator himself and what y'all represent around the state. We just want to say thank you for what you've done.
Thank you.
And it's just an honor to be here with you.
Now you know I'm sweating and blushing.
Well,
we also have Chris Floor, who's our communications person. He's director of all of the information that goes out from Macon-Bibb County, and he's back there. You have to help me recover from all of that. Y'all are very,
It's
very
true.
kind.
Listen,
I do appreciate
as I heard one preacher say, Dr. Moffat, he only says that because it's true.
There you go. So,
all right. Enough of that.
Enough of that.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all are sweet.
So here in my official capacity as county manager, I must echo what the mayor says every time. You know, it's a great day in Macon, Middle Georgia. You know, we're 1 year and 1 month into, I guess we can still say, a new administration, but my time is flying. For it to be already a year and a month, and one of the big projects that we did last year was the acquisition of the mall, which is on, you know, everyone knows that this mall has been another, I used the word beacon earlier, so I'm not going to try to overuse that word, but, you know, anybody that grew up in Macon, that mall was a big part of your life. You know, on the east side of town, you know, that's the only reason we went across the river was to go to the mall. So, you know, it's been up and down over the years as we saw development leave from that side of town. And so by us acquiring it, part of the goal is to redevelop that area, to try to incentivize businesses to come back on that side of town. We know we still have plenty of people that live there. There's wonderful neighborhoods in that area. But to give you just a daily breakdown of what we're working on, that mall is a huge building. And so one of the things that we wanted to do was make sure that we were doing proper use in that building. And so what do? Retail has changed. We know that a lot of people shop online now. So trying to focus on getting retail back in there was kind of, we talked about it, but what would be the best use of that building? So one of the things that we know that we as a government have a lot of businesses, a lot of departments spread around the county. So could we use this as a central place to place some government services? So we looked at the ones that we have buildings. So why pay rent in places that we own a building? So one of the first departments is Board of Elections. When we think about people standing outside in line and things of that nature, the mall is almost an ideal place that we could set up a centralized Board of Elections.
I was so excited to hear about that because I knew they were running out of space at the Board of Elections, but I just didn't know how cramped they were as far as storage and all of that.
And you brought a good point. Storage is because with all the new equipment, I think every election, I don't want to say site, but every election station has 3 large pieces of equipment. You go with the keypad, and then you have to go over to the printer, and then you have to put it into this big almost bin. And so that takes up a lot of space. And so when you don't have an election going on, then you have to store it somewhere. So we were trying to find storage space. And then let alone when you have time where people are coming and they outside in the elements, by using the mall, it gives us a better place. And we want to make it a showcase for the state. When we have a facility where people are not on the elevator, you think about it, we're going to be able to run that line down the midway of the mall. So Board of Elections is one. Other places, we're looking at the department we have located over in the terminal station. We do know that is valuable office space that could be economic development downtown if you had businesses at the terminal station.
And we're paying rent to be there. So we moved those to our own building.
So over there you have planning and zoning. We have our code enforcement. We're probably gonna move code enforcement to City Hall, but Safe Built, which is our permitting. And so we're just looking at businesses, departments that we can locate there. So if you split them all into 3, we'll probably have a third of it be government businesses. another section, which will be the second section, will probably be the retail. And then the third, we may look at some recreation activities.
Let's talk about the amphitheater.
I'm getting to that because that is the showcase.
Yeah.
That is the showcase. So that's the building itself. Now, the mall also has a tremendous amount of land associated with it. So one of the things that the mayor wanted to do was build an amphitheater. And we want to make sure that it is probably going to be the second largest in the state, which is probably about a 10,000 to 12,000 seat capacity right there on the old JCPenney side. So we are currently interviewing architect firms for the plan design. Hopefully we have an announcement for that in the next month or so. And hopefully we'll be breaking ground in the next month.
Now, the senator was real happy to hear amphitheater because he's been talking about that. He's always been ahead of his time with the lottery, with all of that pari-mutuel betting. Excuse me, Pastor, and also about an amphitheater.
And with the way the world has changed in the last 2 years with COVID and inside, now we still have the Centralplex, we still have the auditorium, but an amphitheater gives us that third leg of entertaining shows where people want to be outside. They want to bring the lawn chairs. There's nothing more that feeling of when the sun goes down at 7 or 8 o'clock, you're sitting outside, the nice breeze is coming through, and you're jamming to one of your old school bands. Because we know that Macon is probably not going to be the get a Beyonce where you're getting 100,000 people. But if we get the right promoters that can find us those acts that are really coming through for those second tier and third tier cities that make it affordable, then we can be a draw for at least 150 miles to where people will come to this destination. As we were interviewing these architects and designers, one thing that we kept saying is we want this amphitheater to pop. We want it to be a place where people say, I went there for that experience. And so we're trying to get that design down, trying to make it accessible. One thing at the mall, you have plenty of parking. You have 4 or 5 access points where we hope we won't have these bottlenecks when it's time to. Everyone comes in staggered, but they all leave at the same time. But the most important part is making sure that the businesses that want to support it grow. Maybe more restaurants come back on that side of town. It may be a chance for more retail because it won't be just an amphitheater just for Friday night or Saturday night. It will be a community amphitheater. We will try to make the price point work for the nonprofits in the community that want to do their showcase, and because it'll be segmented to where you will have at least 2,500 covered. And so that's a small group. Maybe a church group will want to do the outdoor revival, things of that nature. And so being that it'll be county controlled and county owned, we'll be able to work those price margins to where it'll be truly used for the community. We visited I visited at least one with a group a couple of weeks ago. And one of the things they talked about is when it's not being used for a performance, that it is open to the community. As you mentioned earlier, want to exercise. Well, it'll have slopes in there, but people have steps.
That's right. Work it.
So said that ugly word,
exercise. Because with so much space out there, it'll be like a park connected to the amphitheater, that green space. And so because they have a natural river that goes right on side of it. So, walking around there, people talking about, well, with that side of town with crime and everything. But if you have enough people on that side of town, that kind of will dictate and move that element out because you will have that use. You will have that.
Well, let's talk about the security because when this first came up, the questions came flooding in about security as one of those items that you would have to build in to make sure that people felt secure.
Well, and again, one of the best things, we always talking about the best deterrent to crime is a job, economic development. If you have businesses over there, if you have momentum over there, then that kind of handles that. But yes, there will be a significant investment in personnel. We already have a substation over there, but of course you will have more patrols. But again, if you have that pop, if you have that going on, that kind of would drive that element away because, you can't break into somebody's car when you got 10 cars driving by.
Right.
So that's what we're looking at. That is our goal. And, it's more than we just hoping. We're trying to put action to words. So hopefully within the next 30 days, we'll have the announcement and start shoveling dirt. With the bicentennial next year, we hope that we have this amphitheater open and celebrate. It was 100 years ago for the centennial where the auditorium was dedicated. So what better way to
What
celebrate
better way?
Macon's musical heritage than at 100 years they did an auditorium, and at 200 years we did an amphitheater.
Right. Maria Bryant with the NAACP has joined us. And of course, Ms. Mathis is there. And Rhonda Bird are all on with us. Pastor Lisa and Dr. Butler always join us. So several things that people are saying, a nice movie theater.
Mhm.
There used to be a theater at Westgate, the old Westgate
wow.
area.
When the Office Max Theater also. When
You know what?
that
You're
was a movie
right.
theater,
It
yeah.
surely was. It
Mhm.
surely
Yeah.
was. And so Pastor Lisa says hello.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of things going on. I know myself that there have been some people who have inquired about getting property,
Mhm.
buying properties in that area.
Right.
And not only will that mall area be developed and will have more activity and add to the tax base, but the homes, the
Correct.
residential
Mhm.
areas
Mhm.
in that are around the mall area, I can see significant development in those areas as well. So it just, to me, it seems like a win-win situation. I know it's a significant investment on the part of the county, but it is great to have a company to deed over to us
Correct.
half of the mall area now,
Correct. Mhm.
and then to have the advantage of the remainder of it later on in the year, so that we can kind of put some things in there and build up that
Mhm.
entire area. So I'm excited about it, and I'm pleased to support
Well,
that
one of the
effort.
things that you talk about is our primary goal as government is to help create the environment that will help the market drive. You know, people say, oh, well, why we don't have a restaurant? Well, the restaurant, they do a number of things. They look at households in that area. They look at the income of that area. Because we've had discussion with restaurants to say, okay, why you won't locate there? But the data has to support them making that decision. And we're hoping that by doing this, it will just energize, and that data will follow, and then the market will just take care of itself.
Yeah. And we want to look like that area in the Eisenhower Parkway area, which has had significant development and upgrades. And we want to look at the east side with the possibility of some things happening there, because there's so many major state roads that come through. It doesn't give you the options that maybe some other sections of town have. We are rich with businesses. There are large companies are located in District 3 and on the east side, but there are a number of people who want to see more upscale restaurants and other kinds of things. And it's very difficult when you have some statistics that are working against.
And you know, when we talk about that draw, you know, we have these imaginary lines that separate Bibb County from Jones County, but I believe that Shirley and Gray Highway is the third busiest intersection because that many people are going that way. So again, that daytime population is probably about 350,000, where we know we are a population about 150. And the population is decreasing. We don't see that, or at least we don't feel that. When you think about the number of new stores that are popping up all around the community, a number of new apartments that are popping up, I believe we had about 600 new home permits last year. I mean, we talk about new construction versus people renovating. I mean, all the loft apartments downtown. I mean, people are still locating here in Macon.
Well, Macon is centrally located, and there is no reason for us not to live up to that name, the hub, where other things project out of Macon, and other things. Whenever somebody thinks of what they're going to do, they need to think of Macon. Pastor, did you have a
I wanted to say something about this. Is exciting to hear this for the first time for me about the amphitheater. But I will say this: there's a stigma at that area that people aren't safe. I don't know how many officers in the substation there, but we got to change the way people think about us to change them. There's nothing more wonderful than taking your family. I took my family to see the movie 41 at the park. That was an exciting time. It was good. Secondly, you talk about church services. We had for the celebration of our mortgage burning from the Macedonia building. It's now the Pentecostal Temple building, owned and operated by Pentecostal Temple. One of the great things we did that week, we had a commissioner come by and say some words. But we had the Saturday before you got that, Commissioner, we had an outside movie. We watched the Clark sisters, and we got the community. It wasn't just Pentecostal Temple.
Right.
We got people from the community. That's a great thing. We're going to do that again. We were safe in terms of social distancing. And I just think that's a market for churches to watch a movie together as a church. It doesn't have to be always, we watch the Clark sisters. It don't have to be that, just a good movie you may want to watch as a team. I think that's great opportunity. I am excited about what you said, and I look forward to coming to our Amphitheater.
What's the projection for the length of time that it's gonna take?
Well, we are telling them 18 months. We're hoping to be open next summer. That's what he wants. We are hoping to have this thing open by next summer.
So when are you gonna break ground, you think?
Hopefully within the next 30 days.
Really? Wow.
I may be.
Okay, listen,
I may be getting myself in trouble. I
gotta.
Some of this is.
I just figured out the connections.
We're ambitious.
Dr. Marvin figured out the connection. You need some dirt for the landfill, so you're gonna dig down and take that dirt over.
That is a possibility, but this administration has been moving fast over this last year. It's just a lot been going on, and this is one of those legacy projects that we want to see come to life. I
look forward to that.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got the mall activity ongoing. There's the Blight, the attack on Blight in our community that people have been complaining about for years and years and years. Talk about the Blight and talk about these houses,
right?
How many, the progress that's being made on that, and other topics that
I love when we have new perceptions on things, and we have new, we've always taken down houses, but it did get off rail. It is a very complicated process to take a house down. But last year we did refocus those efforts, and we took down 100 houses in about 9 to 10 months.
Very good.
So now we have a goal, believe it or not, of 300. That's about 30 or 27 a month, and we are on track to do that. We have streamlined the process because some of that process held up was these houses are dirty with asbestos and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So for the most part, we're treating most of the houses though they are completely dirty. So that takes down some of the time as we have to test them and things of that nature. And we working with private contractors. We've created what we call our revolving loan fund, which is helping pay for this. So we have so many tools in the toolbox now. To give an example, some of the collections from the tax commissioners, the previous administration with Commissioner Allen, Ms. Lucas approved to where if you have a blighted property, those are taxed at 7 times the property tax. So that money goes into this loan fund. So
it's an incentive for you to get
rid of it.
There you go.
So
no longer rewarding bad behavior by just people sitting on blighted property. So that kind of gives us the seed money to take these houses down. And then once we take them down, we put a lien on that property. So if that property owner tries to sell it, it reimburses the county for what was spent on it. So we are moving very fast on that. So number 111 was about 40 minutes from now. So we started this back in March of last year. Today, 111 have come down.
Has the pandemic slowed that down?
Yes and no. When I say the no part is that we work with private contractors, and for them, we don't worry about their workforce. We tell them they take care of our own. Internally, if it's a clean house, we do let our public works department take the house down or the structure down. And so we've had to work through their schedule because they're still doing other things like fixing potholes, paving streets, and that nature. So we kind of work those clean houses into our work schedule.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that number is about where I thought it was. It's well over 100.
Correct.
And for those people who have complained for years and years and years about an old rundown house, a burned out house, all these different things, and many of these were in the Black community. Many of them our folks were complaining about all of these years. And we were very, very frustrated that we couldn't move any faster. But I have seen significant progress being made on the removal of these houses. And people are so happy that now they don't have to deal with rats and roaches and just when their friends come to their house, they've got to look at something that's
and because
next
of
door.
this effort, we have noticed a number of people are moving on their own. The first step is legal to send you a letter saying you got two options. You can clean it yourself or we're going to do it. And a lot of people have chose option one and doing it on themselves. So if you're in the community and you see some houses, if you contact our code enforcement office to make sure that that house is on the list. So that's one thing, bad data in equals bad data out. So we got to make sure that our data is accurate and up to date and where they are, if they're behind on the taxes, how long it's been blighted, things of that nature. We're just making sure that the step one is making sure that the house is noted as being blighted.
Okay, now we talked about the mall, we've talked about Blight, we've got some good comments from some people. Ms. Mathis was concerned about homelessness. And Ms. Mathis, I'm so glad you're watching Ask Elaine because you've got some wonderful questions, some wonderful areas of information that gives us an opportunity to share with you what's already in place in response to what the community has asked for. Talk a little bit about the Brookdale Warming Center.
Another great initiative that this administration tackled head on. The mayor and commissioners, this started when a couple of men unfortunately passed away on a cold night. Froze to death on a cold night. And the mayor and commissioners saw that as an opportunity to do something. Partnered with the school system and acquired Brookdale School. And, I don't have the stats in front of me. Chris, you probably know them off the top of your head, but over 100 families have been helped over a year. Over last year, more than 1,000 people have come through the doors. Many families, children, single mothers. But it was fascinating because it was initially called the Warming Center because it was just for the winter, and it was to provide those wraparound services. But soon as the season changed, we kept the doors open. It has now been adopted as an initiative of United Way. It's either have been finalized or will soon be finalized. The United Way will be managing it. That way they can bring in other resources, especially because it takes money. Everything takes money. And so they'll be able to raise funds to keep the initiative going. But it really is about those wraparound services. And I want to stop right there. When you think about homelessness, there was a story this weekend of a young lady, very successful, who committed suicide. And that has really been, on my mind for these last couple of days. When we think about mental illness and what the world has gone through these last 2 years, and, and a lot of this homelessness stems from that. Ms. Mathis mentioned the Greyhound bus station, where you're right. There's a group of people that have been there, and we're putting together a plan. They met Monday. A lot of the Homeless Coalition, I believe is the name of the group, and they're going to go there either Thursday or Friday and meet with all of them and try to figure out how they can help them. If you need to go to the Warming Center, if you need this service, but a lot of them don't want help. A lot of them, and I don't know if there's just the mental illness capacity part of it. But so we have to address that also, and we have made the investment in mental illness aid in this community. And so with that, we are looking at that. We do know that we have another homeless camp down by Central City Park, and every year we do our cherry blossom, and that kind of drives. But one of the things that I'm rambling, but I'm getting to this. Macon has the reputation of having a lot of services for homelessness, which is why a lot of homelessness are coming to Macon. Gotcha. Now, there's a rumor that other communities are putting them on a bus and shipping them here. I can't prove that, and I can't disprove that.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree.
We just have to deal with what comes to us.
But we do have a lot of services, and so when we see someone and like panhandling is illegal, especially aggressive panhandling, if you could kind of tell them, go to these organizations, Salvation Army, Daybreak, Loaves and Fishes. those are places where they can get the information to at least get a meal, get a shower, get help, maybe use a phone to call a family member, and things of that nature. Because I think that's kind of, it's a lot of pieces in this puzzle, and we just got to keep putting it together.
Right. Yeah. And there is a homeless coalition that meets regularly. And because there's federal money that have come from the Biden administration, and they have, some of those funds have been used for services for the homeless and in healthcare and a number of other areas. And I think that's real important. There are some people who have terrible attitudes toward the homeless, but they ought to understand, and you as a faith leader could probably say this better than I, that but for
the grace of God,
go I.
Preach, Commissioner.
Yeah.
But and people ought to think about that a lot of people are one paycheck. You might have a job now, but something could happen. Illness. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a story to tell about our church, Pentecost Temple, partner with Daybreak, and we just collect pennies on Sunday, and all that money, and then some goes into Daybreak. I'm just happy that we can say we help. But then in addition to that, on King Holiday, we always go in the community and do things. And I went Daybreak. I planned Dr. Moffitt to serve food. They wouldn't let me. They said, no, we want you to mingle with the people. I said, no, I came to serve food because I want to be of service. Anyway, I sat down there, ate with them, talked to them, and one of the brothers that was there marched with Dr. King. He told me about that whole experience. So I didn't go there to give. I went there to get. He let me know how it was to be in a march with Dr. King, and he was homeless. And sometimes they just have a bad streak of luck or blessings, and they just need somebody like Daybreak. Daybreak is wonderful because they can wash their clothes, they get a phone, they give them access to computers. We need more of that. If something could be done at the mall or something could be duplicated, the building is not that big, but they do a lot of good. Feed people, get them hooked up to social media, and help them find a job. You said it right before, Dr. Moffitt. If they have a job, they won't need Daybreak anymore.
Correct. And I know we put a lot of, it's easy to say the faith community need to step up. And that is easy. And I'm not saying that they're not stepping up, but I do know, well, at least I feel like I speak for me, is that is another resource.
That's right.
But again, I know that it takes, I hate to say money is the answer for everything, because like you say, it takes time. It takes you listening. It takes someone just being there to kind of guide them in the right way. And so as we continue to ask more of the faith community to step up and be a part of these efforts that we're trying to address, I do know that there is a effort underway to kind of go out and do a count of how many homeless we have. In order to do that, they're going to make personal contact with them to get their information, to find out, exactly what is that reason that you're out here. And do you have family that can help, or are you looking for a particular type of resource, especially when you talk about veterans? There are a lot of benefits out there for veterans that we know we can tap into. So again, that's underway, and we just hope and pray that, even in these times with bad weather, that they'll be taken, because it's very dangerous. The Greyhound bus station, it's very dangerous to be in there with no power and you're trying to stay warm and things of that nature. So we're trying to monitor those areas to make sure they're not hurting themselves or hurting others.
Okay, so we've talked about economic development. We've talked about homelessness, services being provided for the homeless. These programs are not going to answer 100% of what we're dealing with, but it is certainly nice to know that there are some things in place to respond to the problems that we have. Okay. Now, as the county manager, tell us some of the other things that you do on a day-to-day basis. And since this is Black History Month, we want to salute you, as I don't think you were the first Black county manager. I think there have been, two?
At least two.
Others.
At
Israel Small, and
then Melvin.
But that was in the city.
That was in the city.
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah. Ooh. Some of us, it's been a disadvantage in being around a long time because you remember the highs and the lows in some of these things. But tell us about some of the other projects that you have. And you release a monthly report that we get, and I try to send that out by email. Pastor, I need to get that.
I do, because I'm learning. This is more of a learning experience for me.
And in it, it's a report to citizens about the kind of work that's being done with taxpayers' money. So tell us some of the kinds of things that are included in that monthly report.
Well, my primary job as county manager is to oversee the day-to-day operations of the county. And that comprises of about 22 direct departments that report under the county manager. And then I work with the other departments, the 4 constitutional officers, and then the various state constitutional officers and their employees. We have about 1,600 full-time employees, give or take, probably about 200 part-time. And so when you think about the day-to-day, that's everything from our airport to the Centraplex, code enforcement, E911, public works, recreation. So every day is a little different. To give you an example, today, woke up this morning, came in, first thing, met a guy in the halls talking about he got a letter about his blighted house or had to deal with code enforcement. Next phone call with somebody complaining. Well, I said I'm going to bring up trash, but I brought up trash.
I want to talk about trash.
So the next one, then did a meeting on the proposed amphitheater. Had a call about Lake Tobosoffke. So it just varies. But again, so much goes on.
People need to go take advantage of Lake Tobosoffke too. Your money went into building that up.
Correct.
And lots of improvements over the last couple of years. And so people really need to go and take advantage of all that's out there and stop complaining about there's nothing to do.
Correct.
There's plenty to do.
You want
it's
to do
what you choose to take advantage of.
I mean, and paid services out there. You can rent a pavilion for a family event, or you have a lot. You can go out there for a nice walk, a nice stroll. There, Amerson Park.
That's
also
a beautiful park. That's right.
Bicycling. For the recreation department, we have several rec centers in our community, a lot of youth programs. I had lunch with our rec director, getting ready for our summer programs and the pools. We have 6 pools that we're going to be opening up. So good. COVID and everything, we're working on that schedule. So we'll probably do another alternate schedule, 3 open on this day, 3 open on another day. The youth program, starting registration for that during the summer. You can sign your little ones up. So we're about to start posting those jobs. Tutors work that in the summer. Again, just a number of things going on. I mean, it's a lot going on.
As we slowly make some movement away from the pandemic, COVID, we still have to be very, very careful. We still have to, hopefully everybody's decided they're going to go ahead and get their vaccinations. Correct. I hope you have decided to do that. That's smart. And that you are taking precautions as you go out, but more and more things are opening up. So I'm just happy to see that county government is working to address and be prepared. Talk about swimming just a little bit, because we get a lot of questions about the swimming.
Well, we have 6 pools. The main issue with that is just getting qualified lifeguards. Well, if we have enough lifeguards, all the pools could be open, but because we have just for whatever the nature is, because those kids are in college, they're transient. We'll probably have 3 pools open each day, and they will rotate. We've done a significant amount of work. What do you call it? Resurfacing the pools. I know the Dolores Brooks pool just had a lot of work done. Booker T. Washington pool will be online this summer.
Good.
So you have that over in the Pleasant Hill area. And again, we just want to create a safe environment where kids can go out and be kids. Unfortunately, they get a bad rep or not when we want to play outside anymore. But we don't have, believe it or not, we don't have that problem. We have I don't have the numbers with me of how many kids used the pool last summer, but every pool was full of kids. And so that is something. Ms. Mathis asked about a calendar. Every Friday, Chris and our communication team put out what we call the hub, which kind of gives a breakdown of what happened the last week and kind of gives a forecast of what's going on over the next month. So if you can be on the lookout for the hub, you can find it on our Facebook page, or you can sign up for an email listing. So that kind of gives you an idea of everything that's going on.
Okay, talk again about where everybody can get information if they want to find out the different things that are going on, where they can get that information. And we want to welcome Steve Bryant, who is in Virginia. He's a Maconite, but he listens to the program every week, and he chimes in. Steve, you've missed a whole lot of information. I hope you're not just now coming on, but if you are, then welcome. Pastor Lisa says that she uses the hub. She goes to the hub, and it's lots and lots of information.
If you go to our social media page, Make and Build Government, and you click on there, you can find the link to the hub. And I believe you can sign up to get the newsletter. It comes straight to your email, but if not, you can get it off our Facebook page. And again, I know I love the progressive commercials because I feel like that's me. As you get older, you're not doing it. I love my paper. I love my paper ticket and things like that. Me too. But we are living in a world now where technology drives everything. Right. And so we do use social media a lot to get the message out there. The old way of doing press conferences and watching the news at 6 o'clock still works, but we do know we drive a lot of our information through our social media page, and we have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So if you type in Make and Build on any of those social media mediums, you'll get our information.
Yeah. Could I say a couple of things about the pool? We just bought the Macedonia Church, paid in full as of September of last year. One thing we did not do because we absolutely couldn't afford it was to keep the pool going. Now we have extra money, and maybe that's something we could partner with the county on to get that pool back and running, another place for that community to come down and swim. Our issue even before was having a lifeguard because that's safety issues big time. But we would like to get it open at some point in the future. So if we could partner with the county, I'm certainly for that. Okay. But Dr. Moffitt, people think I still work for the county.
I'm sure.
I get almost weekly, somebody will call me on my phone or see me out and about and tell me about their problem. Either this pile been there too long, they don't understand the red versus the green cans. When do they pick that up? And they think they can come to Larry C. Dunning Jr. to solve their problems. And I tell them, please call the city. Dr. Keith Moffitt is running that show. I'm just here to say that's where you need to go.
Well, we're going to trash.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And I would just say, it was almost a perfect storm last year when it came to our trash issue. The company that we had last year just ran into some problems. You can't say nothing nice, don't say anything at all. So I'm just going to say they ran into some problems. Yeah. And so the last 6 months, especially the last 3 months, the service just became subpar. So we partnered with another company, and that company has been 100% collecting the whole county as of the first week of January. All right. So we've only been doing it for a month of where they're going in, and they had to pick up a lot that was left out there in the month of November and December. Okay. So they are working through that. Part of that was we had to get new cans. Red is for trash, blue is for recycle. And so we had to spend we tried the month of December to try to put as many cans out there as possible, but we did not, the former company could not pick up their green cans at the same time we putting the red cans out. The coordination didn't happen for a number of reasons. So now The red cans are out there. If you do not have a red can, please call us. You can go to C-Click Fix, put in C-Click Fix, another one of those programs that we use to communicate with citizens.
Good.
Or you can just call Solid Waste, and we can get you a red can. If you pay for more than one can, all we're doing is just verifying the number of cans that you actually pay for. And that's a $20 a month service. You know, and I can get into the details of that, but for right now, I'll just speed this up. So the new company is picking up the red and the green cans as of now. Once the green cans are empty, we are trying to collect those. The old company is trying to collect them, but we decided yesterday that as a government, we're gonna go ahead and invest and use our internal staff and hire a private company to go help us pick those cans up, because one, they are hazard, they are ugly, just sitting out there. So we have recognized that, and we do offer that if you want to turn your can in, you can take it down on 7th Street. So we are trying to clean that up. Now the new company is doing recycling 1 week and yard waste the next. They've only been doing it for 4 weeks now. And I do believe that we have seen a tremendous amount of trash being picked up. So let's continue to work through this. This has been a hard transition, but it's working. And if you would think about when you're going from one major company to another in a major service like trash, and we only been doing it for a month. I mean, normally a change like this will probably take 6 months. So we're working through it. So I'm not trying to make excuses for it, because trash is one of them things that, you got to do.
That is a basic service.
It's a basic service
people expect. And so that's why I've always tried to look out for the garbage workers, because I have always said, you let that garbage not be picked up 1 week, you got a major problem. And so that's a service that most people kind of expect. Maria Bryant said those who live on King Street have not received their new trash cans. Who do we call?
We got it.
So, they got it, Maria.
If you would.
Got it.
All right, we would take care of it. And again, we apologize for any inconvenience this happened. We had a company out, and you're going down one street, you turn to go another one. We admit they missed some houses, but right now we are working on it.
Okay. I would say one thing too. We tried our best to serve our community, serve the city council at that time, and even the commissioners later. And we had a thing at the old Public Works was, it's got to disappear. And we worked hard to try to satisfy our customers. But I would ask you one question. In my training, if it was red bag waste or red container, we were not permitted to get it. It usually means medical waste. Why do they have red cans?
Well, they did red cans for visibility. They say, seeing the green cans when people back out of the yard, they would hit it.
Oh, my Lord, Delta Sigma Theta, Kappa, Alpha.
So I did get accused of that.
I know why.
Because your wife is Delta.
It's medical waste, but that's okay.
It's not.
No, but it's for visibility.
Visibility.
Okay. That was the number one thing they said for visibility. Okay. They stand out for visibility.
We couldn't touch it. My word was, you don't touch red containers.
Yes.
But there are some
for visibility,
don't need to be
right. The key is the service. If they pick it up, it could be any color.
And so let me again. Not to make a long, but we use the one arm for safety reasons, getting away from 3 to a truck.
Yes.
And so those cans are designed for the one arm truck to do that. So that's another reason why we went to those cans.
All right.
All right. There is a place where you can get all of the information that we have shared. Could you tell us again where citizens can go? Because I think we're running out of time. This hour goes by so fast. And if you want to find out what's going on, you come on to Ask Elaine, where you have folks like Pastor Dunning, you have Keith Moffitt.
That's right.
Pastor Dunning. Pastor
here.
Watson say the red because it's covered by the blood.
Oh my gosh, they put the blood in it.
I'm going to leave it alone.
We got 3 reasons: Delta Sigma Theta, Kappa Alpha Psi, and the blood of Jesus. You can't beat that.
All right, that's right. That's Kappa over there. Okay, tell us where, if folks didn't get all of the information, tell us where they can go to get that info, because everybody, is mama and grandmama and the little 2-year-old have a phone.
All right, makingbill.us
Mm-hmm.
or Facebook, Making Bill
Mhm.
Government, Making Bill, Facebook.com/Making Bill, Making Bill County.
Is that just print, or that's gonna be a movie? Yeah, you used to do a movie, didn't you?
We still do. They
Still do, okay.
They do a lot of videos.
That's what I'm
me.
saying. Okay, all right.
Videos. And again, but you bring up a good point. That is a way to communicate. I have we have one of the top-notch PR teams.
Okay.
You go back, you can look at some of the old footage of things that happen. Most press conferences are covered internally as opposed to the news media doing it, because we know sometimes they're gonna clip. There you go. So if you want to see the whole story,
that's where to go.
They'll go there.
Okay, now that's same place that you just told Commissioner.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Makingbill.us or Facebook, Making Bill County.
All right.
Okay. This has been wonderful. This has been so wonderful. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Happy Black History Month, even though it's the shortest month. Make it worthwhile, and then spread it out over the entire year. You don't have to leave the celebration in one month. It can be year round, which is what we in the ML King board stress. And by the way, we will be meeting tomorrow evening at 4:30, and we'll be looking at some additional activities and events for the remainder of the year. So if you have some ideas, you hit me up on my Facebook page. Oh, there's someone, Dr. Dallas lives in Centerville, and she visits Macon often. And she says we're doing an amazing job here. Thank you, Dr. Dallas. Thank you so very much. Oh, I'm sorry. Central City Park is now Carolyn Creighton Park. You're right.
Wow,
but we want to wish you again happy Black History Month. It's not just for Black folks. It's history. It's history. And in the weeks to come, we're going to be talking to some other Black folks who have done some things that we might not know about, but that we can be proud of. So happy Black History Month. And be sure that you tune in once again next week on Wednesday at 3 for another edition where we will have wonderful guests like Pastor Dunning, Keith Moffitt, Chris Floor, who's been here in the background giving us information, and we do appreciate it. So if you have a question, we do have 3 minutes left. I'm going to let my guest make any final comments they'd like to make. And if you'd like to make a call, I think we have time. 478-250-1444. Pastor, closing remarks.
I'm just glad to be here. Good to see you, Dr. Moffitt and Mr. Floor. It's always good to be a part of making this city better, making this county better. And any way I can help you and the county, please let me know. Pentecost Temple would love more partnerships with our businesses and our governments. God bless you all.
Yeah, and congratulations on your mortgage.
Thank you. Thank you.
Too. Everybody can't say that.
There you go. I'm going to say 478-751-7170. That's the main number to the mayor's office. If you need anything, give us a call. They'll direct you to me. And from there, we will take it, or call customer service at 751-7400. Especially if you need a secret fix request. We can walk you through that process.
Okay, so you've got the information you need. So there's no reason not to take advantage of it. We've given you a whole lot today, but feel free to contact us if you feel like there's some unanswered questions. So on behalf of all these wonderful people here and the very fine people at WDDO, we want to wish you a good afternoon. Stay warm or cool or whatever, because you never know what the weather is going to be like.
Georgia,
but by all means,
season
get
one day.
vaccinated.
That's right.
Keep your distance. Wear your mask. Protect yourself. So
Stay
We'll
positive,
see you
test
again.
negative.
Yes.
I like
We'll
that.
see you again next Wednesday for another edition of Ask Elaine.
All right. That's good. Look at that. Stay positive, test negative.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM,